Hey team, Patrick here. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how topspin should actually be created in tennis and address any misconceptions around one of the most commonly used phrases by players and coaches, and that is that we need to swing low to high. So let's get into it. And here's where I think there's this confusion. When we say swing low to high, it's not that we're swinging low to high with our whole arm from down to up with the racket in a more fixed position, as this would produce very little speed, so actually less spin. And instead, it's the racket head that is rotating over this way. Our arm is simply out in front and the racket is releasing over due to pronation from the shoulder on a forehand. This is why you'll hear things like come over the ball to hit with topspin. It's not that we're rolling the racket over the ball this way, but the racket head turning over this way, kind of like the windscreen wiper action on a car. My thumb is on top of the grip at contact and on the bottom of the grip shortly after contact. The top edge of the racket at contact rotates over to become the bottom edge at the finish. The more the tip of the racket goes up and across on either a forehand or a backhand, the more spin and the more the tip of the racket goes through the ball, points forwards, the less spin and the flatter the stroke will become. So it's not that we need to get our arm up over our shoulder with our racket head up above our hand at the finish. This is more old school and maybe okay for a beginner, but it is going to produce less speed. And often what you see from the top players is actually their hand and racket head below their elbow at the finish. Of course, we also need to get the head of the racket below the ball so we can come up from below the ball to contact. But do this by getting yourself low. Now you can maintain these good angles. Don't stay tall and just drop the head of the racket like this. This is why the pros bend their knees and get low. Otherwise, we're only going to be able to use our arm, not our legs and hips and the kinetic chain. It's then a natural circular swing path. The more the racket comes up from below the ball to begin with, the swing path then continues and the more vertical it will be through the contact past the ball. If I take my racket back in line with the ball, the more linear my swing path will be through the ball this way. Players that are tight and tense, fighting the ball or overusing their arm, will tend to hook the racket around their body and struggle to get this speed. And we need this acceleration and the racket turning over to get maximum spin. So drills, you can practice choking up on the racket, starting close to the net with the tip of the racket down. Drop the ball to yourself and draw this circular path, getting the ball to go up and down quickly into the service box on the other side. And gradually move back in the court and your hand down the grip, increasing the size of your swing, still starting with the tip of the racket down, and then progressing to the tip of the racket, starting up. You can also practice this. How fast can you accelerate the racket, but how slow can you get the ball to go through the air? As that's when you know you've truly mastered this topspin, and remember, your ball will still be heavy off the bounce. And listen for the sound. The sound is very important. You'll hear the strings moving across the ball, up the back of the ball and snapping back into place. It's this higher pitched clicking sound. And you'll see this rainbow shaped curve to the ball's flight. Now, I'm not saying we just want to move our racket this way and not through the ball at all, as this would produce a very thin contact. The ball might go quite high and short with no penetration. So it is a spectrum, more spin, less spin. And generally, we're going to be more somewhat on a diagonal path, both up and through the ball. But topspin is the fundamental foundation for how we control the ball in tennis. So I hope this has helped clear up a few things. Yes, we swing low to high, but through a circular path and the racket head turning and rotating over, not with our whole arm. And if this video has helped, then please leave it a like and comment down below and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on court in the next one. Cheers, guys.